Hey guys, it's Poxro. Welcome back to another video. Today, for Fallout 76, I'm going to be talking about the Season 5 update that is incoming, and this is kind of like the inside of the vault for the Season 5 update. So let's go ahead and go over it real quick. So this is going to be the theme for the next scoreboard, Escape from the 42nd Century. This is a little sneak peek of the scoreboard and what the scoreboard is going to look like. And if you want spoilers for all the scoreboard rewards, I'll have a link to that in the description. So these are the highlights for Season 5 in terms of content. There's going to be the new scoreboard, and then there's also going to be legendary cores, which is pretty much a whole new crafting system with 4 legendary items and gear. So you can craft new legendary gear from to power armor and weapons using legendary cores. So yeah, there's going to be legendary power armor now. Then there's also going to be power armor displays, which is going to be rank 25 of next season's scoreboard, and this will allow you to display your power armor. And then there's going to be power armor skins. So this is just like more power armor skins. This is just rewards from the scoreboard, which is usually what they reward from scoreboard. Also have some weapon skins from the scoreboard. And then there's also some camp objects from the scoreboard as well, like a washer and dryer. And then we have the really cool looking Red Rocket Collectron, which is another reward from the scoreboard. So after rank 100, there's going to be some new challenges. So if you finish the scoreboard early, there will be repeatable XP challenges that will only be available to you after rank 100. And you'll get extra rewards such as perk card packs, legendary crafting components like the legendary cores, maybe even legendary modules, and then there will be consumables and in-game items, and even atoms and more. This is actually really cool. I think a lot of people were requesting this to be a feature of the scoreboard so that, you know, if you grinded it early or you finished up early, you could still have something to do after this you reach rank 100. And this is like a way where people could maybe get atoms now and like even get, you know, some perk card packs and grind out for some other rewards here. And then we also have a updated community calendar. So this is what we're going to be looking at here. So July 7th is when the update is going to be planned to be, and this is going to be the new update and the new season. And then in July, there's going to be the Steel Rain Season 5. That's when that starts on July 7th. There's going to be a purveyor sale. There's going to be a Hunt for the Treasure Hunter weekend. There's going to be a high score weekend and then a Gold Rush weekend. And then the month after that, there's going to be even more events all the way through here. A double XP weekend planned for August 19th to 23rd. That's always cool. And then a meet week for August 17th to August 23rd, which is very nice. So it looks like Meat Week and Double XP will coincide since they both go until the 23rd. From what it looks like from here at least. But yeah, Meat Week is always fun. And those are pretty much all the ones that are worth mentioning. There's another Double XP weekend at the very end of September. And then there's also going to be a new event called Minerva's Emporium. So there's a big sale for Minerva here, and there is a Minerva's big sale down here in September. So Minerva is going to be a merchant who arrives in Appalachia with our Steel Rain update on July 7th, and she'll be taking gold bullion in part for a variety of plans at discount. And Minerva likes to set up shop at one of the 3 settlements, so it'll be Creator, Foundation, or for Atlas. Check back with her often as her inventory rotates regularly. So for those of you who have played Destiny or like Destiny 2, Minerva is now Xur. And Minerva will sell like a random assortment of plans at any given time with the cost of Bullion. So definitely gonna have to like, and you know, you have to kind of, and you also have to find out where Minerva is at a certain time, since Minerva can be at any of 3 of these locations. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's kind of cool. You can get the opportunity to get some plans that, you know, are going to be at a discount. This weekend we have double score, so if you're a little bit behind on the scoreboard, now is definitely the time to do the double score dailies. And then there is also going to be 2 additional daily challenges every day until July 6th. So this is just kind of like a catch-up method for people who are slightly behind on dailies. I'll go ahead and have a link to this in the description as well, but this is the latest PTS update that, as far as I know, so we can pretty much assume that most of what is on this update is going to be live unless they do another update within the next 2 weeks. before the Season 5 launch, but this will just kind of give you a good idea of what is going to be in Season 5 in terms of content. So they have some bug fixes here with armor, crafting NPCs, quests, UI, weapons, and I'm not really going to go into that too much. I'm more interested in the actual content for Season 5. So if you know about the APZ survival tent, this is going to now have a stash box, so it's going to be the best survival tent out there since it'll have a stash box, it'll have a weapons or a tinker's workbench, and then it'll have the scrap box as well, along with a cooking station and bed. Power armor is allowed to have legendary modifications, so this includes Secret Service, aka T65, Strangleheart, Solar and Thorn armor. They also have the anti-scorch training pistol, which is now eligible for legendary crafting. Daily Ops is going to be a source for the new legendary cores. I won't go into all of them, but just to mention the important ones right here with the mods. So Unyielding is no longer allowed on power armor, so this was something that they nerfed. Stalkers is no longer going to be available for melee weapons, and the following legendary mods to melee weapons will be added. So these ones can now be on melee weapons. Black powder weapons can now receive the explosive legendary modification. Heavyweight has been removed from the legendary mod pool. Quad legendary mod is now available for automatic weapons, except for weapons using cores for ammo, plasma, or fusion. Quad can now be rolled when the automatic receiver is attached to the weapon. That's actually really cool. Floater grenades can now be traded and sold, so there's a little bit more use for floater grenades. The pepper shaker is going to be a new weapon. This will be a heavy weapon and a shotgun at the same time, so it can benefit from both types of perk trees, and it has a lot of utility in terms of like being able to be modified to do energy damage and change its ammo type between like multiple types of ammo. Before you could make it explosive, or you could roll it with an explosive legendary effect, but they nerfed that or took it out because you could essentially make your own legacy if you modified it to be energy ammo and you put like a spreader on it. So yeah, they took that out though. This is what the crafting recipes are going to be like for armor if you're going to be doing legendary crafting. And so yeah, these are pretty much all the recipes right here for weapons, power armor, and for armor. Legendary cores can be received from doing events and daily ops so far, from what it sounds like. And then legendary modules is the same. You usually just buy it from the purveyor with script. Got some more bug fixes here and some other design and balance changes. These are pretty important here. So caps, the max cap limit is going to be increased from 30k to 40k, but they aren't changing how much the vendors can, or how much the vendor cap has, unfortunately. But they are for gold bullion. So the daily vendor cap has been increased to 200, from 200 to 400. And the max player cap for gold bullion is also increased to 10,000. So there's going to be a lot more bullion circulating there. For script, they increased it from 150 to 300 for the vendor, and they increased the max player cap from 1,000 to 5,000. I'm not sure why they didn't increase the vendor cap for caps. I feel like they should have, but it's only a 10,000 increase in terms of the maximum. Legendary cores, so their drop rate is now guaranteed from all public events, and some events will drop more by default, while others will drop additional cores depending on the success rate of the event. We have some more bug fixes. A big one is area of effects attacks now only damage weapon condition once per shot. So previously, if I shot a grenade launcher and it hit 3 targets, it would take away like 3 durability on the weapon. But now, if I only shoot 1 shot, it only does 1 tick of durability. So this is really good. It makes explosive effect and explosive weapons a little bit more viable and more, you don't have to repair them as often. And then, of course, there's going to be the Steel Rain questline, which is the second half of the BOS questline that is going to be released with the new season. You do have to be at least level 20 to do this part of the questline. And when you log in, there will be a quest that'll kind of lead you to completing the second half. And then there's the new vendor that we talked about briefly earlier, Minerva. Her wares include gold bullion plans that are normally only available from other gold bullion vendors or by completing daily ops. So we're talking settler rep stuff, raider rep, regs, and also daily op rewards. So these are all like really high value plans that take a lot of grinding to get. So I definitely think it's important to check with Minerva as much as possible to see if you can save time and just buy plans at a discount from her. And she can be found anywhere for Atlas, Foundation, or Crater at any given time. and her visits will last for a few days at a time before she rotates out. So gold bullion and gold bullion vendors are no longer tied to the main Wastelanders questline. So to my understanding, you can obtain bullion like just from the start of the game, like you can with caps, regardless of quest completion. So now you can modify existing gear to make it legendary with legendary crafting using legendary modules and legendary cores. Applying this upgrade to a normal item will turn it into a legendary variant, and you can decide like what tier you want to upgrade it to, like whether it's 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star. And applying the legendary upgrade to an existing legendary item can either increase or decrease the number of legendary attributes depending on which tier you apply. So essentially you can upgrade, downgrade, or re-roll legendary attributes. And every time you apply the legendary upgrade, it's going to re-roll all of the stars. So it's just going to be a lot of re-rolling. Yeah. So now there's going to be legendary power armor. And these are the legendary power armor options that you can get. And this is all going to be introduced with the legendary crafting. So it's going to be use legendary crafting in order to apply the legendary effects to legendary power armor. You won't have to craft a new set of power armor, you just have to modify your existing power armor set. And these are the ones that are not included. Everything else that is with normal armor is included with power armor now. So auto revive, chance to revive using a sim pack. That one is not going to be for power armor. Reduced fall damage will not be for power armor. Harder to detect while sneaking and grants underwater breathing. These ones will not be available for power armor. And there's also not going to be unyielding either. And now to talk even more about legendary stuff, we're going to be talking about the new legendary attributes. So they essentially changed and added some new legendary effects, and I'm going to go ahead and go over them right here. So these are the new ones for weapons. These are the 1-star effects. So these are your prefix, usually the most powerful effect. So we have this one, Aristocrats, which is your damage increases as your caps increase, maximum of 50% damage at 30,000 caps, or 29,000 to be exact. Juggernauts, damage increases as health increases, maximum of 25% damage at 95% health or above. So this is really good for full health builds, as you'll get the most benefit out of it. And then we have this one, which is damage increases as you fill your hunger and thirst meters, maximum of 24% damage. So this would be good for people who tend to maintain their food and hunger very well. For 2 stars, we have Last Shot. The final round in a magazine has a 25% chance to deal twice as much damage. And then there's single shot weapons like black powder rifles cannot spawn with this. So the weapon has to have more than 1 shot in its magazine to have Last Shot. Next, there's Steady, 25% damage while standing still. That one actually seems pretty interesting for a 2-star effect, right? Because you can stack a damage effect as your 1st star, and then usually the second one that people like is Explosive or 25% faster fire rate. But now you could technically just get Steady and get additional damage while standing still, which might be really good. Then there's Inertial, which is replenish 15 action points with each kill. And then for the 3-star, there's Ghosts. Attack that hit enemies have a 10% chance to generate a stealth field. So this could be good for stealth builds. Now let's talk about legendary attributes for armor and power armor. 1-star, we still have Aristocrats. So instead of damage increase though, you get energy and damage resistances that increase as your caps increase. Maximum of 20 for each resistance at 29,000 caps. Power armor, maximum of 35 for each resistance at 29,000 caps. So Aristocrats, so this is what Aristocrat will give you when you are in regular armor. This is what Aristocrat will give you when you're in power armor. Heavyweight, for the power armor one, you get 35 resistance of each resistance at 350 pounds. So I can assume that for regular armor, like the more you weigh, the more damage you'll do, or the more resistance you'll get for your regular armor. And then the heavyweight for the weapon is probably more damage depending on how heavy you weigh. Then you have Overeaters, which increases damage reduction up to 6% as you fill your hunger and thirst meters. Then for the 2-stars, we have Hunger and Thirst grow 10% slower. This effect stacks up to maximum of 50%. Then we have Fireproof and Warming, which just gives fire resistance or cryo resistance. And then we have Hardy, which is receive 10% less damage from explosions. And the next we have 3 stars. We have Doctors, Stimpaks, Radaways, and Radex are 5% more effective. We got Burning, 5% chance to deal 100 fire damage to melee attackers. Electrified and Frozen and Toxic each deal their respective damage type to melee attackers with a 5% chance, and it's 100 of that respective damage. Then there's Dissipating, which is slowly regenerate radiation damage when out of combat. So these are all of the new ones here. And then we have the changes to the current legendary attributes. So Assassins is going to be increased to 50% damage against humans. Berserkers is not going to have a damage debuff when damage resistance is 80 or higher, and the damage buff when damage resistance is between 1 and 60 has been slightly reduced. Exterminators increases damage versus Murlocs and Bugs is now 50% instead of 30%. Ghoul Slayers increase damage against ghouls by 50% instead of 30%. Hunters increase damage against animals by 50% instead of 30%. Mutants, updated functionality, damage now increases by 5% per mutation that affects the character, up to a maximum of 25%. Mutant Slayer also does 50% damage instead of 30% against super mutants. Then Nocturnal has removed the daytime debuff, and the nighttime damage buff has been increased, so you get better effects at night and there's no downside anymore. Suppressors damage reduction applied to target has been buffed from 20% for 3 seconds to 25% for 5 seconds. Troubleshooters is now 50% damage against robots instead of 30%. Zealots is 50% against Scorched instead of 30%. For the 2 stars, we have Bashers, which increases bashing damage from 40% to 50%. We have Hitmans, which increases damage while aiming from 10% to 25%. And then we have Enhanced Vats, which increases the Vats hit chance from 33% to 50%, which is actually a really nice buff for the Vats one. And then for the legendary armor attribute changes, we have Assassins, now reduces damage taken from all humans by 15%. And Nocturnal is the same as the other one, where like there's no downside, and your damage and energy resistance are now increased by 10% per piece of Nocturnal armor during the nighttime. So that is all of the legendary effects that they have changed and added so far as of this PTS post. And like I said, they could make changes within the next 2 weeks before everything launches on the main server. But this is pretty much what we have for now. And then we do have Meat Week coming up, which is always a fun event, so make sure to partake in this Meat Week if you haven't already done it before. Meat Week and Steel Rain will be having some interesting rewards available, like a cryogenic bed, Hellcat power armor, and yeah, some other things like this right here. We have legendary power fist, Hellcat power armor, mercenary outfit, brotherhood outfit, cryogenic bed. And then for the Meat Week, we have the pepper shaker, grocery cart grill, fruit wreath, a fruit bowl, and a decoy duck set. The pepper shaker is going to be a really good item, or I feel like it's going to be a pretty good gun because it can use heavy weapons and shotgun perks. So yeah, but that's only from the Meat Week. And then the Hellcat power armor is similar to T65. T65 is still better in all regards, but Hellcat power armor has really good ballistic damage resistance. It's a little bit weaker in the other categories though. And it does look pretty cool. It looks similar to X1 power armor. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I try to be as concise as possible while still, giving all the information. And we will see if there's another PTS update or not. I'll probably cover it if there is. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comment section below. But otherwise, until next time.